Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Randy, K7AGE. Starting off the pass. We got a few minutes here, almost about 20 minutes before the pass. So these are some of the images that I've picked off of Facebook and Twitter a couple days ago, and show you what some of the people around the world have been receiving. There's been a lot more posted since I grabbed these. Drinking my coffee. It's from Lynn in Brookings, about 25 miles away. Up and running all night long. Yeah, you can do that. You don't have to be around. You can receive it using acoustic coupling with, say, a SSTV app on your phone. One from Black Cat Systems for the Apple, and Robot 36 for the Android devices. So, and let me get this chat over here. Hang on for a minute. And we got a message from Andy and OH7TEME. He says, I did receive yesterday evening a few. Fellows came here today. Hope you don't mind. Yeah. Welcome, welcome. Again, this is Randy, K7AGE, for another one of my live SSTV events. Pictures being broadcast or transmitted from the International Space Station. Let's look at the overall main screen here. We can see the space station is still quite a ways away. It's up over, it looks like Japan here at the moment. And still adjusting windows around here. Hello, Andy. Yeah. Yeah, as Caller Radio says, please press the like button, press the share button, let everybody out there know that this is around. And so, what do we got going here? Let's talk about my station here first. Mouse on the right screen. Here, I added this picture to the setup here. So this is what I'm seeing in front of me. I have the OBS software running on the left monitor, and everything that you're seeing over on the right monitor. I'm receiving it, the space station, using my ICOM IC9700. The frequency is 145.800. 145.800. Here we go again, yeah. Caveman RC said he saw this pop up while watching your SST video from a couple days ago. I need to finish it so I know how it works. Good morning, Stu, club member in Brookings. He's tried this, on the last event. It was about 6 weeks ago, and I talked to Stu on the radio, and he says, I'm not hearing anything. Well, not all events everybody can hear. We're really fortunate with this December event that's running for 6 days. It ends on Friday. That this runs for 6 days, 24 hours a day. So it gives you lots of opportunities to try and receive it. That event that Stu was not able to hear things on, if you looked at the scheduled times, they were very limited. And it was on for a certain number of hours and off and on for another period of time. And if you kind of looked at those times against the tracking of the space station, it was on when it's over Russia and off over pretty much the rest of the world. This one's on 24 hours a day. So it gives you a chance to get things set up and try it. If you fail, you got time to try again. So The radio is an IC 9700. Okay, Randy also asking about a rundown of equipment and what I'm doing. That's what I started. Here's the radio, 9700. My antenna is up on top of it's about 50 some feet up there. This was a few days ago. We had a little bit of snow. I live in Gold Beach, Oregon, about 40 miles up from the California border. I'm 1 mile from the ocean and up 1,100 feet. So I have a tremendous view to the west. The antenna on the top up here is a vertical, and this is a Comet, a GP15. This is a tri-band vertical, so it covers 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. The beam below it is a JK antennas. It's their Navasa 5. It's 5 elements. It's 2 elements on all bands from 20 through 6 meters. And it's on a short boom, which I wanted, so when the tower tilts over, the top of the tower is not way above the top of the ground. On the computer, I have Obitron to track the satellites. And here's the footprint. So any stations that are within that footprint should be able to receive it. And here's the path it'll take. And let me go here to visualization. And this is the track it'll take on the next orbit. So I'm on now. I'll be on for the next pass. And that'll be all that's available for today. Because if we look another pass out, it keeps progressing to the west. You people in Europe, it'll be coming around later on. So I have that running for tracking. And one of the things I'll watch here is the elevation number. And this pass, look at my prediction notes, says that we should have a 36-degree pass, which will be good. Should be really good. For the software, I'm running MMSSTV. This is free software for Windows. It's been around for a long, long, long time. It's not supported anymore, but it runs fine on Windows, everything up through 10. You might better run it on whatever it was before 7. I'm not sure. I think he followed all the rules when he wrote it. So in MMSSTV, this is the spectrum, and right now we're just seeing noise. It's got some lines on here, so the one at 1200 is the frequency for the sync information. So you hear kind of a ticking when it comes into view, and the picture information resides between 1500 and 2300 hertz. SSTV has nothing to do with live TV, it's just stills. Excuse me, was developed in the late 50s. And back then you used tube type equipment and used an old oscilloscope tube with a long persistence. And the images back then would take 8 seconds to transmit. This is going to take 120 seconds to transmit. So before the image got to the bottom of the display, it faded out from the top. So you never really saw a complete image unless you put a camera in front of it and took a picture. And people would also audio record them, the passes, and or the pictures, and be able to play them back. Again, that bandwidth fits in a single sideband audio bandwidth. It's what the filters allow, so it doesn't require any extra bandwidth. Whatever fits through an audio channel, FM sideband, will work. So that's kind of one of the neat things about slow scan. They will be using PD120 as the SSTV mode. So over in this area, in MMSSTV is all the different modes. Excuse me. If you have auto selected, the software will try and decode from the first couple seconds of the image is a header, and it describes what the format is. I have PD120 set down here in case I want to manually force it into that mode. And the way you can reassign these buttons, you can right click on one and here's all the modes. So this one's set for Scotty, and I have PD 120 set for that. Go to Receive tab here. You want the auto history checked so that it will automatically store the images and you can see them in this history window here. So let's just take a look here of the ones I received last night. There's picture 11. That was just about perfect. I'm going to do a close-up here on MMSSTV so you can see these. So yeah, there's 11 of 12. There's 10 of 12. A little bit of noise in the middle. Another one of 12 by 12 of 12. There's 12 images in the rotation. That one had a noisy in the middle. 11, couple big noise hits in the middle. This one, it looked like it kind of missed the header, so I didn't get the complete image. And noisier yet, it tried. And I think this was from yesterday. The images down here in this history area, you get to that by going to View and select Always Show Thumbnails of History. If you right-click on a picture down here, you can save it to a file with a timestamp, which is what I do. And when it puts in the timestamp information in the file name, I'll then put the picture number preceding that, and then I can have all the ones grouped together and the twos when I look at it in the directory. If you have noisy pictures you want to get rid of, you can use the delete button. I think this will hold 64, but I'm not entirely sure. Let me check out my YouTube here. Hey, we got 31 people out there watching. Good morning, good morning. This is Randy. Let's see here. Good morning, Randy. Stu. Hello, Randy. NA1SA here. Got my 12th one early this morning. Good going, Keystone. Knick, maybe 77. Randy, look at this intro video. Oh, okay, look at his intro video a little while back. Yeah, about a week ago, I posted a video up on my YouTube channel, how to receive and do all of this. So I go through tracking, radios, and the decoding software. And one of the things I recommend, did I lose it? Let me see if I got it set up here. Looks like I don't have it. But we will go to it. Hang on. Heavens above. Oops. If I could spell. Heavens above. This is a website I recommend for people who don't have any experience with tracking. Because this typically will give you good results. So when you open this up, it'll show where the current position of the ISS is not entirely correct. This is the current position when the browser was last refreshed. So if this thing, so as the ISS is moving, this is not updating. So you need to hit the refresh button in order to make sure this is in the right spot. One of the things you have to do to get a prediction for your location is change your location here. And you can go into a map and you can move the pin around. I just go down here, you can put in your town. I put in my zip code. I tell it to search. Finds Curry County, shows the dot here in the middle of the Rogue River. I live more over here. For this, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. Make sure you press the update button. That should bring you back to the home page. And up here in the top right, you should see that location now. And now to get your predictions, there's a section here for 10-day predictions for satellites of special interest. Go to ISS. And this defaults to show you only the visible passes, which is good if you want to go outside at night to see if you can see the space station going over. In a clear night, you can do this. We're interested in all the passes because we want the radio stuff. So today's the 29th. We're looking at this pass here is what's coming up in about 10 minutes. Now this predictions. These predictions default for only showing you passes and times above 10 degrees above your horizon. I've copied pictures down to 3 degrees or so. But this will get you close. You can always tune in earlier, which you should be doing. So at 8:10, it's 10 degrees to the northwest. 8:13, it peaks at 37 degrees. And at 8:16, we're going to lose it to the east. So that's the heavens above prediction software. You can also get decoding programs to run on your iPhone. The one from Black Cat Systems works. In my video, I show using that. It's a little finicky getting it all dialed in. For the Android people, Robot 36 is a program. Now, Robot 36 is a mode, but it will also decode the PD 120. Randy says, thanks for all you do for the community. You have been a member Elmer to me for many years. Thank you. Thank you very much. See what we got here. Maybe 36 people watching at the moment. Yesterday, the question about certificates came up. So I did some Googling around, and I found these sites. So I have QR codes on here, so you can point your camera or phone if you're not watching this on your phone. This is the ISS gallery. This is where you can submit pictures, and this is where you submit. And I believe when you do this, I'm not entirely sure, you'll get a certificate. I got one this morning from them, but I'm not entirely sure how I applied for it. But I think all you need is get one picture. I found this site here, the ISS Fan Club, and it listed several diploma sites. Some of these, I think there was maybe one link in here didn't work. This one in Argentina is all in Spanish. I couldn't figure out what to do to enter stuff for a certificate. This Russian one I did go to, and this is from R4UAB, and you can go in here, and when this came up, and with Google, you could hit the translate button, because this will be all in Russian, and you have to upload 3 images that are 90% complete, and they say they'll send out the certificate after the first of the year, but this appeared a couple hours later. So, got some wallpaper there. Okay, Kenneth says you have to submit two places for the ISS certificate. Thank you. Thank you. Sean, thanks for the instructional video. I'm running my FTM-500 speaker output into the USB sound card on my input, and it worked great. You just have to watch out for levels, because the input on the computer is typically mic level, and the output of the speaker is high level. You may overdrive, so you kind of got to be a little conscious of that. What else do I need to cover here? I think that's kind of everything. You can see it's getting closer here. I'm going to zoom in here to North America. You can see it's going to go to the northeast of me. And that it helps to have your squelch opened up. One of the things I do is leave the radio, and I leave the computer running with MMSSTV 24 hours a day. And so when it receives a picture, it'll put it into this history here. So I don't have to be up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to get the passes. And a hint from yesterday's stream was, if you're using a radio that has an automatic shut-off feature, turn that off. Because otherwise you'll turn the radio on, and maybe an hour later, 3 hours later, it'll turn off, and you come by in the morning to see what you've received, and you get nothing. So make sure you keep the radio on. I have a third screen here to the left, which has got the streaming stuff on it. Looks like 37 here this morning. Good. I'll be doing another broadcast this morning at 9:30. I'll go on. So, and the passes for that are at 9:50. Trying to think out what else I haven't covered here. I'm having some of Josh's ham radio crash course. Give it the beans coffee. It's good stuff. Tsunami zone here. The Cascadia fault. Anyway, it's killing time. What else do I need to talk about? Oh, antennas. Well, you're portable. And somebody brought this up yesterday too. I just remembered it. You don't have to be a ham to do this. All you're doing is receiving. So if you have an old scanner or a new scanner, 145, 800, they'll all receive 2 meters. It's FM. This is great for school or a club or a project. You can take your radio and hold your phone next to it. And what I recommend is to record the image. If you try and decode it with the decoding software, unless you're really familiar how to do that, you may not have it set right and you'll miss the pass. It'll go by and you have no image. If you record the pass, then you can play it back and take and fiddle with your decoding software. Of course, the trick is you may need to have 2 devices. You know, if you start it playing back and you change to another application, typically the audio will go away. And if you're using a handheld, don't point it at the space station, because this is the null off the antenna. You want to have it more broadside, but you can twist this around and peak it for the maximum signal. The transmitter on the space station is a Kenwood TM700 variant. Kenwood, I think, supplied 10 of these because they need them for on the space station, they need them for spares, they need them for training, they need them for testing and all this. And Kenwood actually went into those and changed the firmware, and they preset all the different operating modes that they need up there to support this, the school contacts, and all the various things that they may be doing. So it's just like a recall, just a memory recall. It doesn't require the astronauts to set the radio up, and they can't screw it up. They go to memory position 23 or whatever, and the thing runs. Turn it on, all that stuff is there. Do a reset, all that stuff is there. So thank you, Kenwood. Don, good morning. Receiving some scans on 14230. Yes, 14230 on the 20 meter band is where there's lots. Here we go. Lots of slow scan activity. Go back to receive here. And here it is at 1.2 degrees. Yeah, a lot of pictures on 14230. Just set your radio and software and go away. There's Orbitron telling me it's within range. And here's the sync information at 1200. Still pretty noisy. It's about S4. It's at 3.3 degrees. The images I mentioned take 2 minutes to transmit. Yeah, just barely above the horizon. And then they pause for 2 minutes. So it's a 2 minute on, 2 minutes off, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. And here we caught it. That looks like just starting, just as I was able to hear it. No more passes for you today. Yeah, it keeps progressing west. So, yeah, the eastern part, central part of the United States, it's pretty much over for you today. Most of the passes are in the middle of the night, at least for us in the U.S. Okay, 51 people watching. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, I didn't start the picture at the picture did not start at the start of the picture, so it picked it up, but it automatically figured that out, which is good. So it ended at 9 degrees. It's going to max out here at about 36. Now we wait 2 minutes. Stu, you're getting something. I can see. I really need to hook this up via USB for a cleaner picture. Yeah, if your radio supports a USB with a built-in sound card, do that. The acoustic coupling, it gets you going, but you may get room acoustics and echoes and things that will distort the picture. In MMSSTV, some setup things I didn't cover before. You go to Option Setups and move this over here. You start by selecting your sound card. So Stu, you go in here and you find your USB codec for the radio. I've renamed mine for the 9700 and my 7610. You want to go to the Receive tab and turn on all these automatics. So it'll automatically stop. It'll automatically restart. It'll automatically resync. It'll automatically slant correct. If you watch the picture coming in live, you may see it's at a slight tilt, and then it will pop and straighten it out. Decode the frequency shift key ID for the image mode definition, so it can select the right one. You want auto start on VIS or sync. And miscellaneous, I set the sample rate for 48,000. We don't care about transmitting for this event. Should start up here again. Morning, Carlos. This is this radar image showing, this is my center is me, this is northwest. Each one of these circles is 30 degrees. It's at 25 degrees. Morning, Andy. And my other radio buddy in Brookings, Lynn, I got him hooked on this. He sends me pictures in the morning what he's received all night long. He uses a Yaesu 991A. Again, that is an all-band radio, 160 through 70 centimeters, USB control and sound. Just set it up and let it run. Make sure you turn your auto shut off. It's about peaking S9 here. If you push on this magnifying button here, it'll pop up a larger image. It popped it up on my other screen. That's weird. Here's Lynn. We had the Oregon coast represented this morning. Thanks, guys. Oh, that was a little bit of noise hit. That's picture 10 of 12 out of the sequence. I keep clicking over there. Speaking of this sequence of pictures, where'd they go? I went through all my images in the history and saved them all, and you can see I precede the timestamp with the picture number. So when I do them all, I get maybe 3 or 4 that are O1s for picture 1, a bunch for O2, then I can go through and take and select those. So here's what I've received so far. Here's image 1. Hopefully I'll get a better one of that again. Let's got to zoom each one. Image 2. It's really good. Let's select. What is going on here? What is going on? Let's try this again. I'm just going to leave them at that size. There's image 2. There's 3. A little bit of noise hits. 4. A couple noise lines. 5. There's Armstrong. No, that's probably the other guy, since there's a picture of him. I'll think of it later. It's like one of the Russian lunar rovers. Apollo 15 team, image 7. Here we go. Open the squelch. Steve in Texas could be getting the same image. Yep. Yeah, you were under the footprint. Good. Okay, Kenneth thinks the Argentina reward requires images from several different events. Thanks. Is my antenna for SSTV directional? No, I'm using a vertical. I'll show you that here again after the pass. This one's noisier. It's about S2. It's at 6 degrees. Maybe the orientation of the antennas is not favoring me. Orientation of the antennas on the space station. Buzz Aldrin, thank you, Keystone. That's who was on the ladder, I believe. Steve is starting to decode. Still hearing it. It's at 4 degrees. And for some reason it dropped out. And starting here again. Oh well, Buzz Lightyears. Actually getting stronger as it gets lower. 2.5 degrees and it's gone. So the antenna that I'm using, I have a vertical here on the top of my tower. So it's up about 50 feet. And I'm running a Comet. It's a GP15. This is a tri-band vertical for 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. It, the pattern on that really favors down towards the horizon. The more gain you get, the more it focuses down, which is not as helpful when the satellite or the space station is above. It's probably not that critical, that narrow as I'm showing it. But it does okay at the higher ones. A quarter wave ground plane will work because it has almost a 45 type degree pattern to the elevation, and most of the elevations of the space station going over will typically run you between 15 and say 60 degrees. So very few are straight overhead, and when they are overhead, they're going by you quite fast. As the space station is coming towards you, it is low in frequency. No, it's high in frequency as it's coming towards you. This is the Doppler effect. When it's overhead, it is It is on the correct frequency, and as it's going away, it's lower in frequency. Typically with the 2-meter signals, it's not enough to create a problem. If your radio offers different filters, like in the 9700 and the IC 705 or whatever, you can go to a wider filter to help that. But don't let that stop you, and don't worry about trying to track it for the Doppler. I'm not doing any Doppler tracking here. Oh, what else we got here? Randy, loving the videos. If anyone is interested and don't have a ham radios and receiving equipment, can use a web-based SDR and virtual pipe the sound to your SSTV software. Thanks, thanks Andy, M7KHI from the UK or Wales or somewhere over there. Yeah, you can use a web SDR. You can search those on the web. The trick is you need like a virtual audio cable program to get the audio out of one application on your computer, your web browser, and into your SSTV decoding software. I guess worst case, you could put your computer microphone by your computer speaker and do it physically instead of virtually. But the web receivers allow you to use different receivers around the world. So, I could bring up one in Europe and catch the passes over there later on. What else here? Covered a lot. And YouTube's complaining about the stream bandwidth. 52 people watching. Thanks everybody for checking in. And wow, covered a lot of stuff. I probably have forgotten things. And I think that's it for now. I think I'll end the stream and come back on. I'll schedule a new one. You'll see it post here for 9:30 Pacific time. That would be 16:30 UTC. Steve's getting a very clear image pass in the morning. Don says 14:230 is active in the morning. WJ3U. What's the best angle and height, Stu? For the height of the antenna, mainly what you want to try and do is get it clear of things down to the horizon. Trees, buildings, whatever. But you can only do what you can do. If you had a super high gain vertical, it's probably going to limit your higher elevation passes. So actually a lower gain vertical works well. Some people have taken like a 4-element 2-meter beam. Doesn't have a lot of gain, and it has still a kind of a wide pattern. So they'll mount that so it's tilted up about 30, 40 degrees and fix it at that tilt, and then just use an azimuth rotator. So you only have to do it in one direction. If you have longer beams, then you can get into to an as-L rotator, so you can rotate it and tilt it. And then people who are really deep in this put a controller on it, and it does it automatically. I used to do that about 20 years ago with some of the old digital packet store and forward satellites. The station was automated. It was just great. The software knew when it was coming over. The beams would swing around. It would go up. It would upload, download messages, and had 16 time slots. So it would be sending packets to 16 different stations at the same time through a rotation. And it was neat. You could put a message for somebody on the other side of the world. When it came over their station, they would see it and they'd download it. It worked great. And then the internet came along, and it all kind of disappeared. Did I answer your question, Stu? I hope. Maybe. Paul, 2E 1FQB. Where's it? 2? Yeah, 2E. Good morning. And I think I'm talked out. I'm going to go get my second cup of coffee. We'll do this again in about a little over an hour. Happy SSTV receiving. Are you going to be live on the next pass in an hour or so? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. As soon as I get off here, I'll set up the link and you'll see it on YouTube. And I'll go live at 9:30. The pass is at 9:46. So come on about 15 minutes early. What's the best elevation? You mean the elevation of the space station? It kind of depends on the antenna you have. If you have tracking beams, 0 to 90 will work. A ground plane, you should be, I would guess, be able to hear things in the 15 to 30 degree range, easily even higher. I just recommend you set it up, and with MMSSTV, it'll grab and save every image. So, try what you have. Lynn's using, I think he's got a Comet Vertical. He's had real good results with that. Maybe the best antenna for receive sometime is a handheld. Yeah, you can have like an arrow antenna or an elk antenna, those beams that you see a lot of the satellite guys use. I'm not going to be standing outside with my HT in the beam when it's 35 degrees. I'd rather sit here where it's warm and use the vertical. Lynn says he's got an X50. That's a Diamond X50. So that one's about 6 feet long. It's a dual band. He was asking, should he lay it tilted over? And you could try that. I don't know experience with it. I would just leave it vertical, and you get things. So, all right. Okay, we're going to see everybody. We're going to see many of you again in maybe about an hour. We probably won't be getting as many or as good images because it's going to be further to the west here on me. So, oops, that's not what I wanted. So again, thanks for watching. Share this with your friends, people in your club, on your local repeater. Tell them to tune in. I know a lot of people are receiving SSTV images for the first time this week. A lot of it based on the video I posted about 5-6 days ago, which is, I don't know, getting close to 7,000 views. A lot of good comments there. People learning how to do this, and also from what I'm streaming here. So 73. See you later. And this is Randy.